savings and why the millennial generation is starting to give up because they can't afford to get a good job or own a house.
8 million Venezuelans voting for this assembly, saying it's actually less than 3.
It is. And people are going to start rioting in the streets.
Was reported to have asked Putin for military support that would help him stay in power.
We will make America safe again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
And they ignore him. And 8 more years goes by till Bernie himself finally admits to his sons, hey, I've been running a Ponzi scheme.
Does its dominance mean it can use the alliance for its own ends?
Since 1981, bond yields, also known as coupon rates, have just gone down and down and down.
The Federal Reserve note will be your biggest financial liability. RTD Live Talk, Thursday night, the 13th day of the month of September. We're live. Detroit's #1 YouTube talk show. Only one like it in the city of Detroit. Looking forward to going back and forth tonight and definitely covering a survey topic, which definitely appears to be a hot topic because I've got a great response all around the survey, but not necessarily on the survey. So I'm looking forward to sharing the results of that and as well as getting your thoughts on the whole situation with the interview, or the press conference rather, that the Democratic Bernie Sanders group is a gang of people who got on stage, basically spilling a lot of, we need to guarantee it's your right, you put into it, and all the good talk here. And I'm thinking, first thought that came to mind was, sure, you can go on stage and you can tell the people whatever they want to hear. You can promise them all the funds that, of course, that they did contribute to. But at the end of the day, it's good to say you may not get what you were expecting, just because, as Mr. Greenspan, former chairman of the Federal Reserve, said, that it's not necessarily a matter of being able to receive the funds. It's more so the structure behind it that is the issue that needs to be dealt with. And so at the end of the day, until people talk about the real issues, you can talk about the dollars and cents all you want, but yet, like Alan Greenspan said, he can guarantee you whatever you need. The question is, what will you be able to purchase with it? So, as always, we are live. Looking forward to finding out what your thoughts are on this matter. Are you for or against this new expand the Social Security proposal that is being put forth? And we'll see how it goes. But I just thought it would be something worth talking about this evening to get your thoughts on it. And I know a lot of people are, of course, I assume, against it, but yet you never know what people's thoughts are. And it also has a lot to do with the fact that a lot of people, based upon demographics, have a different stance and a viewpoint on having worked their entire life contributing towards that. And just the idea that you did contribute towards it, so it is owed to you. So I can understand how you expect to get something in return. And so for the younger generation, I also can understand that most of the younger generation aren't really contributing to it like that, or for the most part, even really expecting to be able to receive anything. So we can have a good back and forth on that. But at the end of the day, it will be dealt out, I believe, and we'll see how it all plans out. But as always, give it a second before we get into tonight's conversation. And if there's any news that I may not have been able to get to this afternoon, feel free to chime in via the chat. Also, the video I did earlier in reference to former Prime Minister Gordon Brown deciding to come out and speak against the very system that he was employed by under the table, as far as his as far as his allegiance to the criminality of the banking structure and all the things that he did for his wonderful country during his 3-year tenure as Prime Minister, and of which I'm sure there's more than enough dirt on him, because in the comments section in reference to that video, so many people put their thoughts out there, basically just not a big fan of Gordon Brown. So it's unfortunate that a person who didn't really have a lot of fan support comes out and speaks against people that were clearly the problem, but yet he don't include himself in there at all. So, but anyway, so as always, give it a second, man. Waiting on more people to check in. I want to make sure the notifications are going out, just because over the last couple of days I noticed somewhat of a delayed and late response for people tuning in. And so I want to make sure everything is getting out because, as always, those that follow the alternative media space, especially all the stuff that's going on with Google now in reference to them being pretty much against anything related to free speech, conservative viewpoints, anything of that nature, anything to do with Trump for the most part that favors Trump, they're against, which means that anybody in the alternative media space, more than likely against the system. So that means they're going to dial back, curtail, and just cut off stuff. So the algorithms are not designed to be user friendly for those that speak against the mainstream matrix that they got us in. So anyway, but as always, man, for those that are here, we're going to get talking, have some fun this evening. Looking forward to getting your thoughts on this matter, as I always said. And then the number above, 1-833-LIVE-RTD. Excuse me, got hiccups. Feel free to call in and let me know what's on your mind, and we can share some thoughts back and forth on the whole situation in reference to are you for or against it, and go into some details about it. So, and what else we got here? It says Bakersfield, California in the house. I think we need to expand as well as medical and health care for all the same care that the Congress, Senate, and presidents get. Okay, Mayor, that's a good point there. So that's another thing that one of the congressmen, I think she was a representative from Michigan, it slipped out of her mouth in reference to the need to expand Medicare and just basically make it a universal basic health care is what it's going to end up being. And just from what I've heard, haven't really looked into it in depth, but according to the type of care that's not being received in Canada, I would imagine that, the moment that we basically offer something labeled as free, the quality of it will go down. And then you're going to have people who are actually not contributing to anything, rushing in. And, if you're a doctor, if you spent your whole life to get into a field that had some lucrative backings behind it, all of a sudden it became a universal aspect. That means salary is going to go down, and it won't be favorable to keep good talent in that system. So, yeah. But yet, one of the things I was thinking about, just so that we can get this thing moving forward in the direction that it has to go, I'm probably going to end tonight with saying, unless something changed based upon a little back and forth I get from you guys, but my initial thought after I watched that press conference in reference to expand Social Security benefits was that I'm like, man, just give the people what they want. Let's just give everybody what they want, because most people, majority of the people, aren't really fully aware of what they're asking for and all of the underlining details of how the system works in the first place. So if the people want free stuff, give them free stuff. Just give them what they want, because at the end of the day, they won't be able to say that they didn't get what they wanted. Now, based upon everything that happens around us and just looking at history, whenever the people get what they want, they tend to then regret it at the end, because it ended up costing them more than they ever could have imagined. And that's what's happening right now. And so it looks like I have a super chat. Thank you. Namaste. I appreciate that. Even though, I've got some before, but I don't know how or what that, I know what it is, but I don't know how it operates. So, but thank you for that. I appreciate that. What else? So yeah, at the end of the day, give the people what they want. Just give them what they want. They won't shut up regardless, because they're going to find out it will never be enough. And that's going to hint into the night's conversation on, you can give people whatever they want. They still going to find a reason to complain, especially if you have no understanding of what you're really asking for. But that's just me. It says, let me get to some questions. Feel free to chime in via chat, via questions or whatnot. And more importantly, if you are on stream right now, get this thing a thumbs up, so that the more thumbs up we're able to receive now can probably put this in the YouTube's algorithm to say, hey, this guy over here or this channel here has some good followers behind it. Let's put them on top of the page so we can get more strangers in here and get them involved in this. And then more importantly, if you have not, you still got time to take I think it already ended. So the survey ended. I said it's for 9:10 or something, so it's closed. And so we'll get a chance to see what the results are. And then also I'm going to, ask you guys exactly what you think the numbers might be, those that are for, those that are for against. And as always, at the very end or throughout the chat, whoever lines up to the T, exactly what the numbers are, you get a chance to win a T-shirt if you're interested. So what else? It says Social Security is nothing more than a Ponzi scheme, stealing from the unborn for the fake money promises today. Disgusting. Yeah, T, and that's the thing, man. Like, looking at it from that standpoint there, a Ponzi scheme, definitely, because if it wasn't for the younger generation being responsible for putting in for it now, the funds that are supposedly there, and I got some articles here that talks about just supposedly disproves some of the things that Bernie Sanders mentioned in reference to it being a surplus in the funds for the Social Security at $2.8 trillion. Then I got an article saying that that is partially true, but yet because it's not listed as it's not directly listed on the budget for the government, it's one of them underfunded things or off the book things, such as the Medicaid, Medicare, all those things, off balance sheet type things. There's funds there or something like that, but it still runs a deficit. That's the biggest thing. But anyway, he says, I'm against it because where is the money coming from? Taxes from the people or borrowing more debt? Yeah, that's the thing. And I wish I did, but I deleted it, I think. But what I'm going to do, actually, yep, I deleted it, but I can get it back up. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, because I'm assuming a lot of people didn't have a chance to actually see the actual press conference I'm referring to. And so what I'm going to do is actually pull it up and I'll play a little bit of it to give you an idea as to how excited and how just rah-rah of an event it was. I mean, there's a lot of people there, clearly Bernie Sanders supporters there, that were beyond excited. They were, and all it takes is just, it don't take much to get people fired up, because all you got to do is promise them something and they will definitely just, hey, oh yeah, we want that, yeah. And then in the live feed, because it was on Facebook, in the live feed, there was, whoa.
There's nothing to prevent the federal government from creating as much money.
In the live feed, there were a variety of people.
There's nothing to prevent the federal government from...
Variety of people that were just in a stance like, yeah, we want that. And in the chat, man, people were just so fired up. And I'm like, man, these people don't know what they're asking for. But like always, just give the people what they want. And so let me try to pull up, I'm going to try to attempt. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually play a little bit of sample of today's caucus rally.
Ronald Reagan was president of the United States. Tip O'Neill was speaker. Let me ask a question. Have any of your insurance premiums gone up since then? Of course they have. Of course they have. Because in order to make sure that they were actuarially sound and to make sure that they could keep pace, that's exactly what we needed to do. So it's important that we expand these benefits so that we can take care of the citizens that we're sworn to serve, who have made those contributions weekly, monthly, annually, to make sure that their Social Security is there. What's lacking is a Congress that's had the will to actuarially address them to make sure that they're there for them, not only as they were in 1983, but as they need to be now and in the future. And that's why they need to expand, so that no woman can retire into poverty and live below the poverty level, even though they've worked all of their life, to make sure that there's an expansion across the board for Social Security for everybody. And if you're in the workforce and working, why should you be taxed on that Social Security? And make sure, like the AARP has called for, that there's an opportunity that you have a COLA that actually reflects the needs that you're going through. And whether it's physical therapy, whether it's doctor visits, whether it's prescription drugs, whether it's heating or cooling your home, these are the necessities of life that we need. This is what insurance is all about. Social Security works because America works. America works because you have worked all of your life. This is not an entitlement. This is insurance that you have earned, and we're going to make sure that you get it in a manner and shape and form that you've worked. Social Security works.
All right, so there you have the idea of, that was just one of the representatives there talking, and it was interesting how he was, that's insurance, the people. And I'm thinking like, okay, fine. You know, his, as someone commented here, his package, his benefit package, his healthcare insurance, he's good. I mean, his package is great. I'm sure he doesn't have that generic, the cheap stuff that they're trying to put out here to us, the public. And so, of course, if they were to give us their benefit package of quality health care, the retirement plan they get for retiring, I think I heard something after one term or of something like that, you get guaranteed 6 figures for life, or I'm not sure the numbers, but I'm thinking like, yeah, sure, you give us that, I vote for you. I'll be out there, yeah, give me, yeah, vote for Bernie, yeah. In the meantime, but anyway, so I thought I would play that for you guys and give you something to think about. So I got another video too I want to share with you to let you know how, you know, even though I saw someone here say, even though people paid into it, that's very true. And it's one of the things where, unfortunately, you know, we're forced to pay into it, you know, and with the promise of it being insurance that we could retire upon. And what really bothers me is I read some articles, and even in a press conference, they're saying that 2/3 of Americans, retirees rather, are dependent upon Social Security. And so my thought is, you know, apart from everything now being very tense and whatever, to actually to spend the better part of your youth from your 20s to 40, 50, 60s solely dependent upon that program, to me is like, man, like that's obviously not good, you know, planning. And so if you had employment and you had a pension, you had some other things, that's great. But if you solely dependent upon that, which I know, you know, I know people who are living solely upon that. And I'm thinking like, man, like, you know, like right now there's a problem. There's a structural problem to that system that needs to be dealt with. And it's going to be dealt with whether we address it or not. Ideally, change is going to come whether you want it or not. It's just a matter of, would you rather control the change or have change control you? And that's what this is going to boil down to at the end of the day. And so it says, question, does it matter if they give more money if the US dollar becoming more worthless by the day? Philman, great point. That's where this is going to head to, because the people want free. Government has built itself up as the provider of first and last resort for obviously a lot of people. And I understand the fact that people paid into it. You know, so it's not entitlement. You actually invested, or your money was taken out of your check. Because if you could have opted out and say, no, thank you, if you could have checked saying, nope, don't want to invest in FICA, I'll pass on that, I'll handle my own, then you would be one of the people who say, okay, I didn't invest in it, so I'm fine, I don't care, whatever. But since it's taken out of everyone's check or whatnot, I can understand how you expect that back. But me personally, I take it as a loss already. Like, I don't really anticipate on really getting that. So I'm like, I just take it as an extra tax, you know, move around. But because I'm conscious of the fact that I'm not anticipating on living on that, it's easy for me to make arrangements around that. And if it happens to be there, fine. But I'm not dependent upon it. But obviously, some of us here could be different. So at the end of the day, people will get what they want. Give them what they want. That's my stance. Give them what they want, and we'll go from there. And let them learn that, you know, everything that's promised to you, or everything, all of these promises that were made based upon 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago, yeah, those guys who made those promises are long gone. So the thing is that Social Security system is bankrupt anyways. Not sure if it makes much of a difference either way. Yeah, you know, that's the thing, whether it has funding or not. And of course, to my knowledge, actually, since we on here, let me go ahead and pull up some of these articles. I'm gonna pull up some of these articles here, and and we can actually dive into it. Oops. So let me, for whatever reason, I'm trying to pull up my screen, but it won't let me. So give me 1 second here. I actually got some articles that I want to share with you. But it may not let me do that. So I might have to remove some of these extra windows here. So let me try this 1 second. There we go. Oops. All right. So let me move this down here. Give me 1 second. Bear with me, people. All right. So here's an article here that I came across. Let me know if you guys can see this in the chat. So if you guys see it, feel free to let me know so I can make sure I'm not in error, but I apologize for that. But anyway, so this article here, it's what is minimum social security. So I was looking at, what is actual benefits they're going to look to add to this program based upon some information shared on one of the articles here. And so just to thumb through this thing, give you an idea, because I personally, I don't really cover Social Security directly, so I don't dive into it that much, because as I mentioned, I don't anticipate even dealing with this stuff down the line. But just to give you an idea, I did read up on this, and it mentions about, so your monthly average is then plunged into a formula to determine your primary insurance amount. And so it says, or monthly Social Security benefit if you start collecting at your full retirement age. As of 2018, the formula is, if you retire at your full age, you receive 90% or $896 a month, which I think that's wrong. So so years of coverage. Let me see. I saw something earlier. It says for 2018, 1 year of coverage is defined as Social Security earnings of at least $14,000, and the amount is adjusted each year. And then there was some other things down here. Okay, here we go. It says as of 2017, because one of the things Bernie Sanders was talking about, and the other people were saying that it should be boosted above the current poverty level. So I'm thinking, like, what is the current poverty level? And so it says the federal poverty level for an individual is $12,000 a year, which translates to $1,005 per month, about 18% greater than the current 30-year special premium benefit. It says also work together for federal poverty of a couple is $16,000. And so basically what they're looking to do, to my knowledge, we can also cover that article as well, but yet if the poverty level in 2017 is $1,000 per month, whatever they're looking to add will probably put them above this $1,000 a month figure just barely, and then they'll adjust the COLA, or the cost of living adjustment, to make it something like, whatever the percentage is currently. I don't even know, but yet, so basically they're not, I'm sure they're not going to add that much above this so-called 1,000, which is the poverty line. So the goal is to bump them up above the poverty level. So that's what this is going to boil down to, and then give you some idea exactly what. So this is an article that came out in reference to the press conference gave today, and it's about strengthen and expand Social Security. So if you go through here, it says today the elderly poverty rate is 10%. It says today Social Security is more important than ever. Over half of the workers between 55 and 64 have no retirement savings. It says more than a third. So, okay, here's another thing. And this is not going to be cruel, but this is just an honest question that I want to pose. It says over half of workers between 55 and 64 have no retirement savings. And my thought process is, what does that have to do with the government? Like, that is obviously, that's, apart from you needing the tax revenue, having the tax revenue to this point, that sounds like a personal issue that people, prior lack of planning, lack of education, lack of knowledge, lack of awareness on being able to be good stewards of their own finances throughout their working years. If people didn't put something aside, the government, was not put in play to be a babysitter or a caregiver down the line initially. That's my thoughts on the whole idea of government. But yet some of you might disagree. Feel free to let me know, and then give you some more here. It says they want the American people to believe Social Security is in a crisis, must be cut. Crisis and must be cut. They're dead wrong. So here are some facts that were posted today on Bernie Sanders' site. It says Social Security has a $2.8 trillion surplus. It says it can pay every benefit owed to every eligible American for the next 19 years, according to what Bernie Sanders says. So there's $2.8 trillion sitting around somewhere just for Social Security, or available to Social Security. Social Security's assets aren't just paper, as conservative sometimes put it. It says Social Security invests in the U.S. Treasury bonds, the safest interest-bearing securities in the world. Interest-bearing. There are same bonds wealthy investors have purchased along with China and other foreign countries. So listen, they are the same bonds wealthy investors have purchased along with China and other foreign countries. But am I not mistaken in saying that China and all those other foreign countries, they're liquidating those holdings slowly but surely, and they're safe, interest-bearing? Oh, okay. So anyway, so this is just some things here that he was spewing out, but this is what I want to get to. It says this will not only extend the solvency of Social Security, this plan, for the next 50 years, but also bring in enough revenue to expand benefits by an average of $65 a month, increase cost of living adjustments, and lift more seniors out of poverty by increasing the minimum benefits paid to low-income earners. So once again, as I showed you before, if $1,000 is the poverty line, $1,005 is anything below that, you're in poverty. Anything above that, you're out of poverty. They're talking about averaging an average of $65 a month. So as of right now, I say most average payouts is like $895 or something like that. You give them 100 or 65 or whatever it is to get them above that 1,000 threshold. Their problems are now solved. They're all good. They're good. If those people who are solely dependent upon this check, give them $1,010, they're good. That does not fly to me. But as always, I'm of a younger generation, so of course my thoughts are different, but yet this is why it's called Voice for the People. Feel free to share your thoughts. And I've also missed some chats here. So let me know your thoughts or whatever. And also giving you a little, I wanted to keep the survey open longer, get some more people in there, but we'll see. It says financial collapse, SSI will not exist. It says Mike, that is how the system was set up before we were born. If you change the system, they will put a bullet in all of our behinds. Yeah, but here's the thing. I'm not like right now. The whole point of me even addressing this topic or even want to touch this, because I know this is a very sensitive topic here, especially when it comes to those who work their whole life to put into it. So no way, please don't get it mistaken. I'm not trying to disrespect or be that guy that says, the heck with our senior citizens, because I got mad respect. I have relatives, my grandmother, grandpa, all of them, they still alive, and they, I got mad love, you know what I'm saying? Because we all in this together. It's not an inner fight between me and, anybody else. It's about us and them, those that put us in this mess in the first place, that I'm trying to bring to the forefront here by letting people know basically that even though you were promised throughout your life that you will receive something, prepare yourself mentally for the case that you may not get what you were promised. And if you do get it, you may not get it in its entirety the way you were expecting to receive it, to be able to live and enjoy a comfortable retirement. Because like I always said in past live streams, as well as articles I've done, the word retirement at the end of the day will be a very touchy subject around a lot of dinner tables for years to come. And I'm sure there are touchy subjects now, because here's another thing. I've been I'm working on some thoughts for another ebook in reference to retirement. And my thoughts were like, the word retirement is going to be tested. It's being tested right now, because for those that actually are retired, and so if we have any retired viewers watching us now, it's good to say that even though you're retired, everything looks to be good. It's no doubt in my mind that apart from you probably sitting on a large stash, you still have concerns, and you keep your eyes on markets, and you still pay attention to your portfolio of assets, as well as all the things you earn or have working for you, rather, especially if it's in stocks and bonds and things of that nature. So you're keeping an eye on that, and you're going to do that for the rest of your life, because the fact that there's no such thing as a security any longer. You're not, just because you set aside money, you're no longer secure in a retirement. Hence the idea that there's no magic number of a retirement that you can come up with that will be able to, that you can project, that will last you the rest of your life comfortably. So most people will probably outlive their funds. They're going to outlive their funds, because either the funds will be hyperinflated away, or they, won't have enough, give or take how long they live. So there's going to be issues. So the word retirement is going to be really a touchy subject very soon. It's going to be one of those subjects in the category of money. Like they always say, you don't talk about money, religion, and politics, of which those three I really want to touch on those because those, that's where all the juicy truth is at. Like, you get people willing to talk about that, then, you can have some real true discussions there. But anyway, it says, Mike, really, how you free? Really? How you free? Huh? Philman, explain that. I'm not sure. I missed that comment. Speak for yourself, bud. I don't know. I haven't been a slave since 2017. I think I missed that conversation there, gentlemen. It says they tax each other right now. Why not? And that practice? I don't get that one. It says, Mike, you're thinking like a capitalist, not a socialist. That is why you can't understand. Okay. That's not bad. But yeah. I'll leave it at that. It says you ain't paying me enough to share that information with you. Oh man. So we got some gentlemen going back and forth. So wait, how much US dollars do you want? And that's the thing, like, the people who were out in the crowd during that little video I played for you a minute ago, those people were just wanting anything extra is a blessing to them. Is going to be, and of course initially up front it's going to work, but then it's going to cause back end problems. They pull them from somewhere that's not available to give to people. It's going to drive up prices. It's going to be more inflationary than anything else. It says, add up all the cost of these wars and then tell me we should sell out our elderly, stop these wars. Donald, hey man, I'm 100% in agreement with you, but we all know that they're not going to cut back. They're not going to cut back from any expenditures, whether we need them or not. Of course, I don't believe in all this spreading war all around the planet, but it's all in defense of the Federal Reserve note, so that's why we do it. And so as of now, that's going to remain. And so here's another question I should pose you guys. We know that you can't live beyond your means for long without making some adjustments. So practical financial information is either live within your means or adjust your lifestyle. Our country is well beyond the point of not being able to budget, balance, or anything of that nature because we have to borrow. Now, to take that same thought there, like being that this country is based upon debt, it's just hard to believe that people actually will expect to receive something that doesn't retain its value in the first place, but yet be able to live upon it for into the future. And the future looks very, grim right now as we're speaking. So those are all things that I just wonder about, man. So yeah, it says you can't be free if you use a currency that can be printed by the elite whenever they want. I do agree. It says Mike, I was about to go down the Federal Reserve and print you some freshly print dollars. Philman, man, yeah, definitely. Yeah, send me some. And I got another video that I should have shared. I was watching the video. Well, this is on a side note, and then we'll get into the survey because I wanted to get to some more articles. But the question, or not a question, but a video I came across was in reference to, here's a question for you guys to see if anybody knows. What country is the leading nation for counterfeit Federal Reserve notes? Any thoughts? Let's see who are up on let's see who's up on their I ain't gonna see, that's not really monetary, financial. Who's up on their counterfeiting game? Any takers out there? Any countries? And of course, you got 10 because you can't. I don't want you guys to Google it then come back on. Michael, China. I don't think so. I'm sure they all do. They all do. But from my source, which I actually watched a documentary the other day. And that's how I came across it because I had no clue. And it was a 40-minute documentary, and it was really good. Like, I enjoyed it from start to finish on how serious of a business it is. I'm like, I didn't know, man. And they were showing behind the scenes. The guy had some hidden cameras. They were going throughout the city, and they had some notes that looked like they had some notes. So far, I haven't seen the right answer yet. I haven't seen the right answer according to the information shared with me in the documentary. So, not saying that you are wrong, but according to the documentary I saw, and of course, according to his sources, and it's a major news source video documentary, so I take it that their information is up to date. But anyway, so some of the bills they were printing and the way they did it, like you see them people in them little shacks, they up there doing each bill by hand. They just crafting that thing, and then they just the process of one of them guy was he had his mask, but the goal was they had different grades, different qualities of counterfeits. You had the ones that looked like some fakes, then they had the ones that looked like they were freshly printed from the Fed. We getting close there, Philman. Actually, you're not close, but you're in that region. Go south. Go south. Go a lot south, further south. Anyway, but there were people. There's one guy in particular who and that's the thing. I would say he's skilled. This guy got skills. He's developed a craft. Unfortunately, it's illegal, but he makes 45 cents per note, and this guy does bundles. And so the process to make the highest quality 20, 50, or 100, I think he was doing 50. He did a 50, I think, 20 or 50. Majority of them are 100s or 50s. Those are the biggest ones, but the 20s and 10s are the easiest ones. So my man did a 20 with the reporter right there with the camera. He had permission to record him. Nope, not yet. Peru. There you go, Philman. Did you figure that out or did you look it up? So Peru is a country. And so I would encourage you guys, if you want to see this documentary, it's very good. Just type in Peru counterfeiting, whatever, with our dollars. It'll come up, and it is a good one. And so basically, this guy just I'm getting off topic, but $20 bill. This guy, he was handcrafted and scratching, shaving, and he had to slice it open. So imagine trying to. So I got a single dollar here. Imagine how thin this thing is. This guy was able to slice this piece of paper open and peel it apart. He went inside and did an eraser to come up with some of the ink, and then he stepped on it, and then he had to soak it, and then he walked on it again. And I'm like, man, this is all under. And this guy had no equipment, but it was an art form. It was the process. I would probably want to say was beautiful. If that was legal, that would be a great skill to have. Anyway, so just a little recommendation. Go see that video documentary on YouTube. I think you guys enjoy it. Says, so one person got, Peru. So, Philman, the question is, how'd you find it? Say you figured it out. Good job. Okay. It was that Vice documentary. Yeah, I think it was a Vice documentary. Of all the cuts that could be made, we have a problem giving our elderly 65. Doesn't make sense to me. Now, here's the thing. It's not, here's the thing. I don't have a problem at giving them $65. My problem is that the system and the people that's making the promises are misleading them into thinking that 65 is going to make a difference in the long run. Up front, first year, that $65 could be a cell phone bill. Okay. But the side effects is going to come from that extra, the in-depth. So that basically, to come up with that $65 for the, I think it's 20 million, 30 million, 40 million, soon to be 74 baby boomers right now. So it's 74 million, population 300,000. So you think about that, the deeper the budget deficit we have to go, we're already close to $1 trillion, if not $1 trillion, and we're in good times right now. So how can we sustain that further without there being some type of ripple effect with the bond market, with all the markets? And so that's just the problem. Like, these people making promises like they got us, like we got reserves. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't got reserves. We got a print press and a computer system. So I would rather people be informed of the fact that, hey, I know it's hard. And unfortunately, if it's not for people who in the alternative space, they would not even believe it anyway. But to say, hey, don't just, if you do get that $65, don't go blow it. Put it into something that's going to grow. Put it in something that preserves value so that, if you're going to use the system the way it's used you, at least be able to profit at the end by having something tangible at the end of the day. Don't squander that. So I would say give them what they want. Give them 65, 100. Take that 100 and put it into some metals. Would you guys agree? Give me a thumbs up if you agree. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. Either one. It says work for $1.50 an hour for 1 year. Only receive enough to buy one 10th gold eagle. Random year per month. Work for $1.50 an hour for 1 year. Only receive enough to buy one. Who is that, Calvin? It was that Vice. Okay, yeah. So Tyler, okay. So let's keep this party going. So we're going to get into the results. I want to get to the survey. So here's the question. Everybody had a chance to see the survey, correct? Hopefully, it's good to say, I think a lot of people didn't participate directly, and the goal is to get as accurate of data source as we can in having these discussions. So I'm gonna need you guys to make sure you guys on the next survey, make sure you guys participate for a player. Anyway, okay, so right now, for it, against it. The question, everyone should know the question. Let me brush up on the question myself. I'll reword it for you, and then I'll pose the question right here in the chat. So here's the question again, just as I wrote it. And I think my questions will get better as the surveys go on. It says, are you for or against the Expand Social Security Caucus that would expand benefits by an average of $65 a month to retirees? That's the question. Are you for or against it? And so with that, in the chat, give me okay, so if you didn't have a chance to vote, give me a percentage of what you think the fors and against are, and then give me a thumbs up for it and a thumbs down if you're against it. So if you're interested and you want to participate in this little opportunity here to get a shirt, if you guys want, give me a thumbs up or thumbs down, and give me a percentage. Give me a percentage of what you think the results will be. Then I'm gonna reveal the results, and then we can talk about it a little bit and see if it's of surprise or if it's not. So, Texas Rattler, Lima. Lima. I want to say I heard another city. Lima, no doubt. I think Lima's the capital, so definitely they got a lot of counterfeit business there. But I'm sure it's all those little small villages outside. So 67% said, okay, so Patrick, 67% for against. Okay. So basically, okay. And then what is it? Lima, Peru. Thumbs up. So I don't see many figures. I see 67-33, but I don't know if that 67 is for or against. So I think it's for. I'll say 67 are for it. Okay. So unless you guys clarify a little bit better, it's going to be hard to determine if there's going to be a winner. So that's what I'm trying to get it as sharp as possible. So remember, the deal is you got to be on point, exact number. So this is the equivalent. I think this is the equivalent of playing a lottery, because you don't know how many people voted, A, and then B, you don't know what the actual tally would be. But from the survey, you get an idea. 60-40, 64-40 against. Okay. All right. So that being the case, if that's all we have vote wise, let me bring it up. Also, just a little side note. If you're watching us right now on live stream, as I mentioned earlier, if you guys probably weren't here, if you're enjoying the conversation and you want to find out the results, give me a thumbs up on the video real quick, because that'll help, I believe, put us in the category where more people can come across this, and we can bring some strangers into the mix to get them informed and to get them tuned in to the community. It says, I'm for giving Social Security recipients an extra 65 a month. Those that worked and paid into Social Security preserve it. I agree 100%. Might say United States. Yeah, no doubt. I'm sure we got some hefty rings here. So get a video a thumbs up. And so as of now, as I'm looking, we only got 15 thumbs up. So let's see if we can get a little challenge. If we can get, because apparently, according to the screen, it's 54 people watching us now. That means you either got your phone or you're on a computer. If you're enjoying the chat, all it takes is a simple boop. Or if you're not enjoying it, but you just watch just because you're bored, give it a thumbs down. And that's one thing. There's one subscriber. I don't know who it is. I wish I could find out. That it just seems to love to press the thumbs down button. It's just one. I know there's just one. I don't know who he is. He loves pressing the thumbs down button. And so I'm like, I just want to see if he's doing it because, of my delivery style or what, just so I can get better. So if you're that one person listening and you're the one to push the thumbs down button, shoot me an email and let me know what you don't like. so that I can get better. Give me some honest criticism so that I can get better at being a YouTuber and content creator and stuff like that. So anyway, so that's the thing. Like, so we got 51 people. So we got people leaving, which is fair. Obviously, you know, you must be not enjoying it. So I appreciate you leaving as opposed to giving me a thumbs down. So anyway, let's get this party started. Backed Dollars Matter T-Shirt. Backed Dollars Matters T-Shirt. Michael Holiday. Backed Dollars Matter. God, that is solid. That is solid. I'm actually right now as you're speaking working on the Get Your Weight Up shirts. But Mike, I like that. I'm writing that one down. Even though people gonna be like, huh? What does that mean? Oh man, that'd be a great conversation starter right there, boy. Appreciate that one. I'm gonna work on that one. I gotta get some good artwork for that. If we got any artists out there, feel free to shoot your boy a design. Okay, so I'll get you guys. It says get Chinese or Korean kids to take care of those old folks instead of Social Security. I call that program Youth in Asia. I don't think they'll fly for that. Okay, so let me go ahead and get this survey rolling. I think we got people anticipating on seeing some juicy results. And so let me see here. Okay, so I got the results in front of me now. And so this is very interesting because I put a deadline. I think it was like 9 hours, and I know hundreds of people, possibly 1,000 give or take, actually saw it, but the results are surprising. So here we go. So, there's the results for the survey. And so in 9.5 hours, 9 people voted, according to this here, and 44% of the 9. So this is kind of, you know, having 9 people don't give you a good tally, but it is what it is. So 9 people voted, of which 44% say they're for. Basically for, if you read it, you know, the way it's kind of written, if you're for giving $65 a month, give or take all the other stuff that comes with that. And then 56 said against. So 44-56 is the results of the survey. Now, let's see who picked 46-56. And so remember, oh man. So off rip, death by debt was one number off. One number off according to the survey. So let me make sure I'm reading this correct. So 44-56. 44-56. And so let me see here. I saw 2 people I think it was closer. We got 44-56. Let me see here. So just going through, so we got 45-55. One off. 44-56. So death by death. You are one number off from being exact. Oh, but you got okay, but then you said 55 were for it and 45 against it. So flip-flopped. 51-49. Okay. 70-30. What else we got here? So not too many people. Let me see here. I got yeah, so overall I'm just thumbing through the chat. I don't see any Yep, so the death by debt was the closest one, but close don't get you across the finish line, my friend. But I appreciate the fact that you were one away and your fours and against were backwards, but you get the idea. Somebody said Def probably voted all 9 times, but the thing is, he did not get it. It was the reverse, and it was off by 1. But it's coming, Death. I think this is the second night doing a survey. I think you were close last night too, man. So you on point with yours. I gotta see how you getting so close, my friend. I gotta keep my eye on you, boss. But anyway, man. So let's move on. So we got the results. So I'm not disappointing at all. But it's great to see that I believe it's such a touchy subject. People were scared to even touch the survey. That's my opinion. I think that people were like that's one of them subjects, like I mentioned at the beginning of this live stream, is that the three things you don't talk about: money, religion, and politics. Most people don't feel comfortable talking about that. So if you hit for or against, it's going to really spark your curiosity, because everybody got an opinion, but yet only 9 people apparently was willing to tap a button. So I'm like, yeah, it's touchy. That's a touchy subject. I'm liking it. I got to come up with some more touchy subjects, because obviously this is where the truth is at. When people are either too concerned with or don't want to touch that, that's where I need to be at. So yeah. All right, T, have a good night, man. Appreciate you guys tuning in. So yeah, so let me know your thoughts. So we're gonna wrap it up. We're almost close to an hour. The results are out. We didn't have a winner, but are you surprised at the results? That's the new question. Let me know in the chat right now. Are you surprised by the results? Because it looks like it's close to 50-50-ish according to just 9 people, but yet everyone it's not valid enough to get a real sense of what people would do. But I would assume that based upon the fact that people chose not to, even though I know hundreds of people saw it, lets me know that it's one of the things that people just rather keep their hands off of. Like, hey, I don't want to touch that. But here's one of them things, like, if you are one of those people who had a chance but just didn't push it just because whatever, you didn't want to, whatever. My thing is, whether you push a button for or against, anyway, this matter is going to come across your doorstep. So I think it would have been a good way just to even more so prepare yourself mentally for the fact that, say if it had been completely against, that's the people speaking. The people saying that, especially if you're older, it could be younger people saying, hey, if we had the chance to renege on that promise, we're going to do it because it's going to hurt us even more, type of thing. So yeah, those are one of them touchy subjects, man. Let me know first of all in the chat, do you think it is a touchy subject? Was this a touchy subject based upon the results, or it was just skewed because nobody really cared? Either one. So yeah, so I'm definitely am I surprised? I'm surprised by. Yeah, well, actually, as I mentioned, I'm not really surprised because it's a touchy subject, so I'm not surprised. Even though I was able to see the results throughout the day, but I was anticipating having more participation, being that this is a subject matter everybody should care about. Because everyone's directly related to this matter. Either know somebody on the receiving end that could get 65 or not. It says, euthanasia, I'm not touching that one with a 20-foot pole. So Black Log, so you didn't respond, so you don't want no parts of that. Why is that? If you're a U.S. citizen, it's going to come to your doorsteps one day, given the fact you live long enough. It's going to come to your doorstep. Everyone's going to be confronted with this subject matter. It says, I'm surprised, but people are getting worried about the consequences of social media. Jesse, good point there. Because, everything is being cataloged and everyone is there's profiles for everybody. And that's one of the things where I'm like, so it's like either I shut my mouth, not do anything, or share my opinions and just, hey, put my faith in God and let everything fall where it may. Just because it's one of the things where this subject came to mind. I saw that video. I'm like, oh, let me pose a question on this and see what happens. Just so it's out of curiosity. I'm a very curious person, so I want to, use my curiosity in ways of creating ways to engage other people. So that's why I was like, this may be a good topic. And I'm very pleased with the fact that I realize how touchy it is. So now I got to come up with another touchy one. Because even, if nobody responds, that's even more of an indicator of what we need to be talking about. So this helps me better bring the subjects that matter to the forefront, I believe. Says, my question is, where exactly does the government get the extra $65 each month to pay the retired people? Just think of yourself. Just think of yourself. It says to pay the retired people. Just think of yourself. Jeff, so as of now, this, as you see that little Bernie, that article that I read from, it's actually, it's just a caucus. It's just some legislation that they're going to put before the House and the Senate and whatnot to try to get it proposed. But they're trying to rally up all the Democratic supporters, primarily heading into this primary election, so that the Democrats especially the older population, have something to rally behind. So let's make sure we can put the Democrats back in so that they can give us this promise. So that's why I'm sure Bernie, amongst any other things, him just being more of a, government first, people second type of person. That's what I'm sure that's a lot why this was rolled out now, heading into that season. But here's another thing I want to share with you, and I got a video I want to share with you. I almost forgot. But listen to this. As soon as I saw that video earlier, and so as soon as I saw the video earlier that I played, for those that might be tuning in, I'm not sure if you had a chance to see it or not, but catch the restream, and we can go from there. But as soon as I saw the video, there's linked to this article. You can read it down below if you want. I thought of this. So I'm going to play this now and listen to this.
There's nothing to prevent the federal government from creating as much money as it wants and paying it to somebody. The question is, how do you set up a system which assures that the real assets are created, which those benefits are employed to purchase? So it's not a question of security. It's a question of the structure of a financial system which assures that the real resources are created for retirement, as distinct from the cash. The cash itself is nice to have, but it's got to be in the context of the real resources being created at the time those benefits are paid, so that you can purchase real resources with the benefits, which of course are cash.
Mm-hmm.
So there you have it. As soon as I saw that Bernie Sanders video, that clip came to mind. And so just if you listen to that, and I chopped it up, I listened to it, I'm thinking like he was, just to summarize it up, because I wasn't able to actually hear it as you guys were hearing it, but to summarize it, he was basically saying, Senator, like, it's not a problem, as he said, it's not a problem, printing the money. I mean, that's, the keys, like the cash is nice to have, but I can't promise you that the benefits that will be given out to people will be able to acquire the resources. Because when he hit that, he said two things I took away from that was it's about the structure of the system that he's concerned about. And then he mentioned about basically all that cash that's going to chase real assets, which are resources, the houses, cars, food, everything we need. It's going to have, you can have all that new currency chasing real things. So you have a very small supply of real things, but you have an unlimited supply of paper coming towards it. It's going to cause problems. And he said, Alan Greenspan, one of the most, he's a bigwig, and everybody, this guy here, he's more knowledgeable, in my opinion, than any of the Bernie Sanders, what's her name? Janet Yellen, definitely this guy Powell. But this guy, 30, 40, he's been in this game for a long time. He's been around for a long time. And this guy says he can't guarantee anything. Then that means that we have Bernie Sanders and all these other politicians out here saying that, you deserve. These people, Bernie Sanders and all the other politicians on our stage there, they have no true economic mind that would allow them to be able to really, truly understand from a macro, micro economic standpoint the consequences. And what bothers me is the fact that I know they have to know that this game is coming apart at the seams. I just have to believe that they are aware of the fact that this system is not sustainable, and especially from him saying the structure of the system is what needs to be changed. So that's what this is all about. It's not about being able to give them what they want, 6,500, whatever. Like he said, the Fed can give them whatever they want, but the structure of the system will prove to be crippling to their future. Guaranteed. It is built into the cake. And so because of that, I think it's more important for us to tell people the truth of, like, the structure of the system is broken. It was a lie. They lied to you. Get what you can out of it. But if you're going to get what you can out of it, turn it into something, as Greenspan said, that the resources, that all that paper going to be chasing, you want to be on the resource side, not on the paper that's chasing the resources side. So use that while you can for the real stuff. Says Rethinking I couldn't vote because I was at work and couldn't open Twitter. Bo, no problem, my friend. No problem. As long as you cast your vote here, if you cast your vote here and had a chance to voice your opinion and put it on record, I appreciate you for participating. Just buying a 10-ounce bar of silver for 160 is just insane. Take advantage of the stupidity on Wall Street while you can. Also, I'm kind of here to take a break from trolling on other channels. Welcome. Yeah, Percy Power. Worth his money. I only buy 1-ounce rounds each. It's easy to sonic test. And so here's the thing. So by me playing that clip from Alan Greenspan basically telling you the truth of the matter, he can guarantee whatever, but he can't guarantee the resources and the cash chasing the resources and whether the cash will be good enough for a long period of time because the structure of the system is broken. Better yet, let me play this.
There's nothing to prevent the federal government from creating as much money as it wants and paying it to somebody. The question is, how do you set up a system which assures that the real assets are created which those benefits are employed to purchase?
How do you set up a system that assures that people can actually use that cash? So that's the truth of the matter, man. So if you guys want that, that's definitely something you want to YouTube, look up, and then share that video alone so people can understand exactly what they're getting. They can give you any cash you want, but what is it going to get you? And that's what this boils down to. So like I said earlier, at the very beginning, so if you stuck around from the very beginning to this point, what I said at the very beginning is how I was going to end this. Give the people what they want. Give them what they want. Give them what they believe is owed to them. Give them everything that they signed up for. But if you're aware of all the things that happens around that, what you're going to get, at the end of the day, you're going to find that it won't do you as much good as you think, because getting the extra 100, 200, whatever they give you, you're going to eat that same cost on the other end when you go to acquire or go to pay for bills and go to pay for your living necessities. It's just going to be balanced out. You bring in $1 trillion worth of extra funny money on the other end, especially if it hits the consumer goods, $1 trillion worth of inflation is going to pop up on the other end. So that $100 is going to go to somebody else very fast. So yeah, Jesse James, I can have your silver after we give you use in Asia. Voting not. Voting no. It says don't mess with debt. It'll bite you. So we got the remember whatever that is. Purchasing power. That's what it's about, man. Give them what they want, but be smart enough to realize that whatever you're getting, in the long run, it ain't gonna last. It's not gonna do you any good in as far as the way you're thinking it will, or the way they're promising you. So that's what it is, man. But anyway, so we've been on for an hour. Great chat as always. Didn't get a call tonight, but that's fine because we got it in, and I got a chance to share some great videos with you guys. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this matter in the future. Like, are you gonna share this video with your family and friends so they can find out what Alan Greenspan said? He can guarantee you the paper, but he can't guarantee the paper to do for you. So that's what it boils down to, man. But anyway, everybody have a good evening. We're going to sign off. It's 10:30. It's late. I'm tired. It was fun. And as always, all the social media channels over here, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Steam it, man. Make sure you guys follow me, get connected with me. Also, the Telegram group. It's been great being able to share information with there. A couple people reached out to me there. And then on Patreon, where we at? Over here. If you guys want to be a blessing to the channel, support the channel as well as this message here. Help me get more news out there. Free up a little bit more time so I can try to reach more people. That's what it's about. Other than that, I appreciate everybody joining us tonight. Be blessed, stay safe, stay prayed up. And also, at 5 a.m. in the morning, the eye of the storm will touch down on South North Carolina region. So definitely tonight, for those that are in our region, hope you're safe. I definitely, it's been on my mind to make sure I lift you guys up in prayer, and everybody should make sure we pray for the people down on our region, because no matter what, whether it comes through blowing stuff over, it's going to flood stuff, and that's not going to be good. And on top of that, on a side note, because our government is always in need of a cause to go to the House to propose some type of funding, this hurricane, the results of it, I would hope that it doesn't do the type of damage that it did down in Katrina and the prior hurricanes from years past. But those type of devastations always tend to be favorable for our debt-based system, because then the government has to go before Congress or whatnot and say, hey, we need X and Y $1 billion to fund the relief aid for every area that's affected. Now, if the funds truly get there, I doubt it, but yet it gives us a chance to then put a bill that gets passed. It gives the Democrats, Republicans something to argue about, some news to report on, and then some funds are brought into existence. We borrow, and then the money goes to wherever. Some pockets get lined up along the way, and people might or may not get aid. But that's how it goes, man. But anyway, X65 buys inflation. Very true. But appreciate you guys joining. If you have not, as of now, give us a thumbs up. And if you enjoyed it, share this video. See you guys later. And also, here's a new thing I want to start. For all my Patreon subscribers, got a couple on there. If you guys become a member of any amount, I'll let you guys pick the survey topics. So I'll pool up. If more people want to get involved, we'll figure out a way to. I'll draw from a hat, whatever. So I'll give you a chance to come up with the evening discussion if you're a Patreon subscriber via the survey topic and things of that nature. So you can pose a question, give me the results, and we can put your opinions out here and see what the people respond to and make a chat about it. So. If you guys are interested, become a Patreon subscriber over there. Just go the link, all that stuff be down below. It'd be a blessing to the channel as well as you can support the community. So I appreciate you guys considering if you do. And other than that, see you tomorrow.